I'm in.
So I don't know how many games Sega used this like intro thing for.
Not
Definitely
many.
wasn't any of the Sonic games.
I don't want to give you an existential crisis right when you're playing Sonic Heroes.
This is really weird. I don't know what Sega's going for. Sega's always been weird with its advertisements, but I just don't understand.
Just your bad luck. You've run into me.
It's Haruka. That's my name.
What? I can't hear you.
I just killed top captain of the Tojo clan.
Whatever. Here's me brutally injuring a whole lot of people. It's no big deal.
There's a rumor that
I will say learning about heat actions is what made the North Star game click for me. I'm like, oh, that's why they did it.
Shut the fuck up.
Also, those of you, Yakuza fans who either started with Zero or have been here since the beginning and are not used to this dub. Hey, is this dub weird or what?
So you ready for me? Then step the fuck up. It's time to die.
None of them ran away, so they're all alive.
Hello, this is Yakuza 1 for the PlayStation 2, where Cosmic Kiryu has never killed anyone, despite what that cutscene will lead you to believe. I am Lokomasi. With me is my super cool girlfriend, Pepper Masamune. Say hi.
Hello, it's me. How's it going?
Yeah, she's the one who owns the channel this video is going to be on, actually.
And at last, somebody else is gonna do editing for me. Also, Yakuza seems fun. I look forward to it.
In PlayStation 2 so we can get that dub that I think people are too mean about. I guess we can take this time to talk about what familiarity we have with the Yakuza series. I've seen streams of Zero, I've played a bit of Kiwami 1, and quite a bit of the North Star game that Ryu Gogokuto Studios made.
Yeah, meanwhile...
What about you?
I have seen some of Yakuza 0 from LPs, and then just bits and pieces of the rest. The funny parts that people link to all the time.
Yeah, we're both Yakuza fans. We don't have the most experience with the Yakuza games. I only beat this game for the first time like a couple of weeks before recording this, actually.
Also, having seen Yakuza 0, I know that that game also starts in a similar fashion. Of, oh, did Kiryu murder someone?
Praise!
Yeah, those of you who started with Yakuza 0 probably gonna have some weird thoughts on all these characters. Especially if you went from 0 to Kiwami, because Kiwami tries to actually, like, bridge 0 into the plot, whereas this doesn't because 0 didn't exist.
Yeah, and would not for a while.
Aniki,
Yeah.
I want to thank you.
I don't know why, but his
helping
cross-arm
me make
pose
this
is really funny to me.
collection
It's my
He
pleasure.
slumped so far back.
All right.
Don't mind me just shoving my legs in the engine block.
Don't talk to me, I'm angry. Oh, I love WarioWare.
Now that out of the cutscene and voice acting is off for a while, Kiryu is voiced by Daryl Curlow. He's done a lot of video game voice work, but not a whole lot of leading roles like this. The other leading role he had was Alex Mercer from the Prototype games.
I
So
remember
if you know those.
Prototype.
Well, this is embarrassing. I didn't actually write down Shinji's VA's name. I just have a question mark.
It's a mystery.
He's in a similar situation where he's not done a whole lot of... He's done a lot of video games, but not a whole lot of memorable roles. I have here the most recognizable thing is that he's Eddie Brock / Venom in a lot of Spider-Man video games.
Just has that Eddie vibe to him.
Also, really glad the later games added a follow button. Because these sequences where you're following someone just look ridiculous in this game.
Alright, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, going that way. Gotta follow a person with no actual body language. I also have exactly one run speed, and that's run.
I think you can just walk in this game, but there is no point to.
I never need to chill for anything.
So also, so I have a physical copy of this game, but I am using an emulator for recording purposes. That does lead to some problems. Some of the hang-ups, I think, are just in the game normally. Some aren't.
Sorry,
Also, there's a
I'm
line
late.
that shows up sometimes.
I'm Kazuma, an associate of the Dojima family.
I didn't expect you to come, Kazuma-san.
When you don't pay your debts, I'm what you get.
So that line's not in
Tomorrow.
Kiwami,
I'll
but
have
it's
them on by
referenced
tomorrow.
in one of the achievements. I think it's
Please,
referenced
I
twice,
have
but I don't
children.
remember where
I'm supposed to
reference
believe
is.
this shit as you're packing up, getting ready to bail out?
So,
I'll say it slower. Where
if you
is
just
our
get
money?
that achievement without actually having
Please.
played this game,
I'm
well,
sorry.
you missed the reference.
Hey, how about getting the fuck up?
I mean, it's just named if you don't collect your
Please
debts,
don't kill
or if
me.
you don't pay your debts.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
So it's not a non
I've heard about
sequitur.
the
You
Dojima
understand?
family. You guys collect your debts at the end of a gun barrel, right? When someone doesn't pay up, you kill them to prove a point.
I don't
Everyone
know
knows.
who
Listen,
this VA is
that's
because
just
it's a minor
rumor,
part and he's not really
spread by
listed.
fools that
I'm
can't
pretty
pay
sure
their
it's Bill
dues.
Farmer. When Bill Farmer's other character shows up, I'll say who Bill Farmer
I
is.
don't have your money. Damn it. You leave me no choice.
We're gonna play golf! If I win, my debts are erased.
That's how it works. Alright, tutorial time. Who are these voices? They weren't in the cutscene. Alright. Pretty simple combat system compared to later Yakuza games, but still fairly recognizable as the Yakuza combat system.
Yep,
It's the same combat or combo style that's in every video game with light and heavy attacks.
yeah, but there's just something about the animation.
Oh yeah. This, like, particular combo is usually, like, Kiryu's strongest style. Situations where he has style. Oh, and I was showing off that when you do the second triangle like that, you can hold the enemy after hitting them. The other stuff usually fall down too quickly, like that.
Animation does have like a good amount of weight for a PS2 game.
Yeah. Like, people talk about the Yakuza games being kind of awkward, and they're right. It's a little awkward, but this is super playable.
Yeah.
Like, I thought this was going to be a nightmare to deal with, but it's not that bad at all.
Yeah,
Anyways,
this is
Customer Kiryu's never killed anyone. I'm... Fuck that trip here.
Oh jeez, hell of a headbutt.
How about another? Yeah, every game has its weird, or every franchise has its weird first entry where things aren't quite how you expect them. Yakuza 1 does have that, but you can also just see a lot of the DNA. It's weird how much sense it does make, alongside all the times it doesn't make sense. Anyways, here's the only heat action you can do at the beginning of the game. Speaking of things that are weird and don't make sense.
Yeah, that one seems a little lackluster compared to every other... Oh, there we go. That one was at least against a bookshelf. Slightly
Yeah,
better.
you can only throw people against walls and like waist-high places, like maybe these desks. I'm trying to get one to proc on the desk, but I don't think I do. You have to unlock all the other heat actions.
Oh, that is super weird. God, they just give that to you in the other games, because, you know, it makes sense.
Yeah. I talk about this game being playable, it really didn't click until I unlocked a few more of the heat actions.
Yeah. I should also mention music. Sounds really good. I like this fight theme. It's a bit repetitive, but catchy.
I played the entire game before I realized there was a voice saying, "Get on the dance floor."
I love that voice sample.
I'm really
And I
sorry.
thought that they'd switched
Please,
soundtracks
forgive me.
and they put a
On it.
different song, but then when I started, I was like, oh, no, wait, that was always there.
Promise is a promise. Don't take it personally.
Now, is that money always in the briefcase, or did he just have that on him?
I think Shinji took a briefcase and then filled it with money that he found in other places of the office.
Just had it in his pocket the entire time.
You gotta punch him so it goes flying out of him. Okay, so there is an English dub, but you probably noticed the background noise did not get translated and dubbed. Which is fine. This dub was incredibly costly, especially, you know, considering dubs at the time. It's okay for them to not... It's okay for them to set limits for it. But you just start to notice really repetitive background noises, and it's weird because I don't know what they're saying. It's one thing to get annoyed by repetitive words. It's another to just get annoyed by repetitive words you don't recognize.
They're actually just saying bread and butter, but in Japanese.
They're saying Walla Walla. Yep. PlayStation 2 emulators are rough, y'all.
Ow! Hey, the fuck you think you're doing? And just what the fuck family are you from, huh?
Excuse me.
Also, they have a license to drop
Excuse you?
F-bombs.
No. Fuck
And
you.
this guy
And they are
will
wearing
use
it
it.
out. I honestly find it kind of endearing. It is really weird, though. Also, this guy's changed voices.
Get out of here.
By the way, that "get out of here," that's supposed to be Kiryu. It sounds completely different. I thought it was like super
Who the hell
defiance.
are you?
Luke saying it every
was
time.
impressive, Kazuma-chan.
Anyway, here's the only reason to care about the English stuff.
You mean
Yeah. Kazuma Kiryu-chan. The dragon of the Dojima family.
It's been a while, Majima-san.
I do think that almost everyone puts in a good performance.
Relax.
And I don't say that because I have anyone
Here
in
you're
mind.
trying
I'm
to
just
stare
hedging
your own
myself.
family.
That if a really bad performance does show up that I don't remember, I can just say, oh yeah, that
That
one.
bar over
It's not
there.
great.
That's where your girl works.
But
I hear she's hot.
Hamill is a goddamn professional,
Everyone's
and he puts in
jealous
an
of
incredible performance
you. I
even
know
when
I'd like to nail a bitch
everything
like
is
that.
trying to prevent him from putting in a good performance.
By the way, what do you want me to do with this brick?
I didn't know he was Kazuma-san. I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I didn't know.
Forget it.
You're too kind. Kazuma-chan, too kind.
I actually do like that the voices
We
overlapped
gotta
a bit
make up
in that
for
part.
this.
Ow!
I don't think they
should
do in the
kill
original
you.
Japanese, because I don't think they do in Kiwami when I played it. But it fits the scene. Anyways,
You like that? What?
That's enough.
I'm doing this because he disrespected you.
I mean, I just called your
He's
girlfriend a
learned his
bitch, but he's the one that really disrespected me.
Okay.
It's fine when he
So,
does it.
Kiwami
Say
is...
so. But when you
Say
have
that again?
kids of your own,
It's fine
you're
when he
gonna have
does
to
it.
teach them a little respect.
So, the
Let's go.
Kiwami version of this
Yes,
cutscene
sir.
is super weird,
Mhm.
because after Majima has this scene where he's absolutely terrifying, they put in another scene where he is just, you know, goofy, wackadoo Majima from all the other games,
Yep.
and I don't understand. It's really weird.
Well, we want to keep him being terrifying here, but now we gotta introduce the fact that he can be anywhere. See this map?
Anyways,
Just
time for skill trees. There's no skill trees, it's just 3 branches that go from one ability to another. You have Soul. Soul deals with the heat actions. Technique deals with everything that isn't a heat action. That's a thing you can do. And Body deals with the health and other stats. Body is the least interesting and probably the most useful, especially if you're not very good at the game.
ah yes, the 3 genders: soul, technique, and body.
Soul is super useful early on. Technique is useful later. And Body is always useful, but again, it's the one you usually don't go for. But I'm going to go for it first because that low health... The size of that health bar was scaring me.
Upgrade your body. Better body, better body.
I'm used to it being way bigger than that.
Yeah, it usually
Plus the
starts
first-
higher, doesn't it?
Plus, the first Soul and Technique upgrades aren't actually that useful.
Quiet, as usual.
Normal people don't come around because they're afraid of gangsters like you. So it's all yours today.
Anyway, buy some fucking wine because
Where's
you're
Yumi?
putting me out of business.
Out shopping.
Jesus.
We need to restock because you guys eat like wolves.
This is Reyna. She's voiced by Rachel Lake
Yeah,
Cook.
right. So what's the deal?
Most people
You
will
starting
probably
your own
recognize
family?
her as the modern voice of Tifa. I don't know if she's going to be in the remake, but she's Tifa in everything between the
It's not
original
up to me.
FF7 and the remake, at least.
That's Dojima's call.
He's
All
not
that
gonna
stuff
say
that doesn't
no.
exist, yeah.
Fumo Oyabun has already made up
Kingdom
his
Hearts 2
mind.
is fine.
The only reason the Dojima family
Okay,
even
that's
exists
fine.
is
Tifa's in that.
all Dojima
She was
does
also
is go
in
on and
the
on about
This
his
is Drugs,
glory
This is Your
days
Brain on
Anna.
Drugs PSA, but the
That's
remake
enough,
where she
Nishiki.
just destroys a kitchen set with the... with like, this is your family on drugs, and just smashes a countertop.
Always one step ahead of me, huh, big brother?
Nishikiyama,
So,
who is
Nishiki.
just called Nishiki here,
So,
is voiced by
how's
Michael
your sister
Rosenbaum,
She's gonna have another
who
operation
played the Flash
next
in the
month.
Justice League cartoon,
It'll
Oh.
probably be the last
and
one.
Lex Luthor in
last
Smallville.
one.
She's too weak.
He's a very
Doctors
good
say
voice
she
actor,
won't survive.
and I really like his performance. Well,
I'm
that's why I'm talking
sorry.
over it, so you can't hear it. You gotta watch these cutscenes again.
Oh, you're here.
Yumi.
Gotta rewatch
You guys
this.
already drunk?
I gotta just listen to this and
Let
see
me
if I can
in.
hear Flash voice, even though
Go
I know I
ahead.
won't.
Have a seat.
Yumi is Eliza Dushku, who's Faith in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Shaundi in Saints Row 2, but not 3 or 4.
Did she not make a reappearance as Cool Shaundi in Saints Row 4?
You know? The listing I said just said she voiced Shaundi in 2. Cool Shaundi might be voiced by the same voice actress as regular Shaundi in Saints Row 4, but doing a voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been ages since I played Saints Row 4, so I wouldn't remember that.
So video is done, but I'm going to keep recording a bit because I have to talk about Daryl Curiello's performance.
Alright.
He sounds so much like Steve Bloom, doesn't he?
A little bit, yeah.
I would totally understand if you were just playing this game, you would think that was Steve Bloom, but this is the one PlayStation 2 dub that Steve Bloom was not in.
If you can imagine that.
Yeah. I also want to mention there are a couple of people that only do bit parts and, you know, random mooks. One very recognizable voice is John DiMaggio voices some of the random mooks. It's super noticeable because you'll just all of a sudden hear Bender yell, "I'm gonna kick your ass, Kazuma." I think a lot of people are overly harsh on voice actors with recognizable voices.
Yeah, like...
Despite what I just said, I think it's kind of bullshit because, like, I mean, I immediately know if Tom Cruise is playing a role, but that doesn't mean that that's bad. It's bad because Tom Cruise is bad.
But yeah, like some people can't help their voices. Like some
Hmm
people do
I
have
think.
range, yeah. And when that happens, that's incredible, but some people
Yeah,
just
this
have a
might.
pretty distinct voice.
Mhm. This might be me grasping at straws and seeing stuff that isn't there, but I feel like it hits female voice actors a lot more than male voice actors.
Oh, probably.
Because Steve Bloom, very noticeable voice, but people like seeing him. Dan Green, Mike Pollock, recognizable voices, but people don't complain about them.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people complain when they recognize Katsuchi's voice, or Debbie Derryberry, or I'm trying to think of a different one, but all I can think of is Tara Strong, but I don't want to mention her because she's also bad.
I heard a
She's
Laura
anti-vaxxer.
Bailey in there. I can't believe this. Impossible.
Yeah, was that Wendy Lee trying to keep me from finding out who's voicing these characters? I know who's voicing them.
I know, I have ears.
The apparently, I've not seen examples of this, but like, I believe it. Apparently, Sungwon Cho gets recognized and is being recognized as treated as a bad thing
Why'd that be a bad
because
thing? He's got a good ass voice.
he's ranted on Twitter about people like complaining about recognizing voices. So I'm assuming it's been leveled at him at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Might not though. He might just be a stand-up guy. It's taken up for other people who get recognized. So yeah, last thing I wanted to say during this commentary before I accidentally make it longer than the actual gameplay part of the video. A lot of people say that like the fact that this dub is quote unquote bad is the reason no other Yakuza game got a redub. It's not exactly true. What happened was that this dub was expensive
Yeah.
and it didn't affect sales that much. I don't think Yakuza 2 sold that much worse than Yakuza 1 despite it not having a dub.
Yeah, back in the day, Yakuza was just, sort of a niche series anyway, so dub or no dub isn't really going to affect it.
Yeah, and the idea that people, didn't like this game because of the bad dub is really laughable because I remember Samurai Warriors, I remember Dynasty Warriors. Every PlayStation 2 game had an iffy dub. Even Metal Gear Solid 2 was kind of iffy at points. It wasn't really the fault of um, the translation directors. They talked about what caused that, but even franchises that normally have really, really good dubs had kind of iffy dubs at this point.
I killed my soul riding.
Did you say nerd? So yeah, I I'm not saying people have to like this dub, but I feel like this dub just gets a lot of blind hate
Mm-hmm.
because it's the bad dub. You're supposed to hate it.
Look, you're a gamer. There's only ever one opinion per video game.
And one other thing, I know this was gonna be the last thing, but I do have one other thing. So I'm in law school, and I took an evidence class last year, and during it, the professor talked about handwriting as evidence, and she went, into length discussing how useless handwriting analysis is,
Mm-hmm.
and how the best experts of handwriting analysis can only be correct like 40% of the time. But people still think handwriting analysis is real, and judges still typically accept it. So it's one of those things that just isn't true that everyone thinks is true.
I like that 40% odd.
So what I'm saying is, if you don't speak fluent Japanese, you can't tell if Japanese acting is good or bad.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
So I understand people used to the voices. Like if you're really used to Kiryu's voice, Daryl Kuryulo's probably kind of weird right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think comparing the performances is fair because it's very difficult to do. Like when we talk about Japanese performances in the Sentai show in our podcast, we mainly talked about like body acting and facial acting.
Yep, because
And
that's the
that's stuff
stuff
you don't
I can
do in
still
voice acting.
recognize.
Yeah. Like, for comparison, I really like Dee Magno Hall's performance as Pearl in Steven Universe, and it's all because of inflection. It's all because of how she says certain words.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that in a language you don't speak.
Yep.
And is going to sign off on my 1,000-foot view of why, even if you do watch a lot of Japanese media, you're probably not good at figuring out, or not good at judging Japanese performances. The reason you know if an English performance is good or bad is because you speak to people speaking English in real life all the time.
Yeah.
You've grown up around it, presumably. Maybe you're watching our video and you haven't, but you know the people I'm talking to, and you're not them. With the Japanese, even if you do consume a lot of Japanese media, you can only compare it to other acting, and you don't know if that acting is good or bad for the reason we've just gone over.
Yep, you can pretty much just guess at, that person trying to do a child voice isn't doing great, but you know what? That kind of transcends language now, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can maybe tell just like, the timbre, the quality of the voice, and whether that fits, but you don't really know what the performance is. There's maybe one time in my life I've been actually blown away by a performance in a language I didn't understand, and it was everything, including the voice. For those of you who've seen Seven Samurais, Kikuchio's breakdown, where he yells about how the farmers are right to distrust the samurai, because he's like screaming and throwing stuff around, and there's a lot in that performance.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I just want to make sure it's 100% clear. I think it's okay to prefer the Japanese voices. I think it's okay to not want to listen to the dub, but I don't think it's okay to say these actors put in a bad performance, or that the Japanese actors put in a better performance, because odds are you don't know.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just trying to blindly generate hate comments so that our videos will get some views, please, for the love of God.
Hey, wait, hold up a sec. These are my comments. My God. The
Got him.
ruse. This was the plan all along.